summoned from deep beneath by unholy forces unknown to mortal beings. 8 cylinders adorn his crown, banished to the frosty wastes. The king awaits.
On his mountain, misty peaks, shimmering gold through the cold and icy night, long and tattered, dragging robes, magic spells sends them to the underworld, brewing potions in cauldrons forged of cold black steel. Evil powers beware. Weaving dreams from the holy vault of mystic power. Let the warlocks run. Oh, beware of the wizard. Look out for the nightmare king. Look out for the nightmare king. Look out for the nightmare king. Look out. He'll steal your
What's going on, everyone?
lights as magic starts to fill the
We're listening to some Telecaster tunes right off the top. The tone that you're hearing in that song, which is, by the way, Nightmare King by Battlesnake. If you've never heard that song, you gotta go listen to Battlesnake. We listen to Battlesnake a lot on this show here, and super big fan. Yeah, man. We just the missus, I just showed her the panda footage just about 5 minutes ago. Come on, for fuck's sake. I might have to get my battery ninja to go get me a battery. Let's see. Do we have an extra one here, or is this an extra, or is this a falsity? Fingers crossed, folks. Fingers crossed. Is this an extra, or is this an old one that I just mistakenly put? It's an old one. Fuck. Miss. Oh, miss. Could you by chance retrieve me one of these? Awesome. It's great when I have a gopher in the house and I can get her to grab me the occasional thing, because it's awesome. I don't have to stop, and I don't have to necessarily, although I do have tuna here. If you're I'm a clip-on guy. I'm not really a software tuner guy, but if I've got to use a software tuner, this is the bad boy right here. And I can get to it as we go. This is muted all the time. Interesting. Why is it nothing coming through here? Very interesting. Oh, I see what's oops. Oopsie. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing great on your wonderful day here. This is a hot fucking day for where I live. I live in northern Canada, and we are a cold place most of the year. It's a cold place. It should be at the front. No, there's another pack in there somewhere. We're getting by for now, but she's frantically going through our battery drawer trying to find something. If she doesn't find it, I'll just use the software tuner for the This is free, by the way, and this is tuna, and it's saving my balls right now because my clip tuner did not. Ah, nice. She found him. Don't worry, they can't see you anyway. It's okay. But that's okay. You know, I finally found a software tuner I really actually do like. I don't know what it is about tuna that I like more than the other software tuners. I don't tend to use the ones. They're not always perfectly accurate. They can't always do all the things I need them to do. And it's nice that this one's like muted already. So I can have it just going and I can just go to it when I need it. I don't have to do more than one click. It's one click in, one click out. And it's great. So if you guys want a free tuner from Aurora DSP, go and get tuna. You'll thank me later. It's pretty cool to have around. Although I will admit I am a clip tuner guy. Just because I like to do things on the fly without clips. I'm a clip tuner, not a click tuner. Get it? But all right, so what are we doing today? Guys, I've got my Telecaster in hand, and I'm just going to be playing around with some, this is kind of like a clean break. We're going to be doing some clean tones, edge breakup. I'm going to be trying to go after some ska tones, maybe some reggae tones, type tones. I'm going to be doing some Balkan type stuff at home here. I've decided I'm making an agreement with myself. I need to record more. I need to record more. I'm 46 years old. Tomorrow, I need to record more because my life is not getting any longer. And you never know how much time you're going to have left. For all I know, I could get cancer next year. For all I know. God forbid that happens. But I want to have some more stuff finished. And I've got a lot of stuff almost finished. Got to start doing some singing and stuff like that. Putting stuff online. Just so that, like, I don't know, maybe it's a legacy type thing. That's the way I'm not sure if I'm thinking about it that way. Just so, like, I can listen to, even when I'm like in my late years, I can listen back to, oh, that was when I was in my prime. You know, that type of thing. So we're going to see if we can do some of that. All right, let's take this off. And that is a lot of gain, and I don't need all that right now. How's it going, Pedro? How are you? And if you're in the chat, always say hi. You never know, you might win something. Wow, that is kind of a lot of gain here. What am I missing? Okay, oh, the boost is on. Oh, I see, okay. The boost was on. That was what we were doing there. I don't really want the boost. It's too sizzly for me right now. I'm just looking for clean tones today, brother. So we'll see what we got. This is this is not one of them 60s Telecasters. This is the late 90s. I think it's the mid 90s reissue done by Fender, made in Japan. You don't get to see Tallulah a lot. It is my favorite well, I wouldn't say. I have a hard time saying which is my favorite Telecaster. I have a few of them. And this is one of my favorites. Now, this has a set of Fishman Greg Koch pickups. This is an active set of pickups. It actually charges by USB right here. And for the longest time, this had a set of wonderful Peter Florence pickups in it. And after Peter passed away, his pickups went into the stratosphere for price. I couldn't hang on to them any longer. I was getting fucking insane offers for them. They ended up going for a really tidy price. I put these in here. Thanks so much to Fishman for sending these out and letting me put these in this guitar. And they've gone quite well. Better than the other Fishman sets that I've tried. This is my favorite so far. Of all the Fishman sets I've tried, this is my favorite. And it's still living in this guitar for now. We'll see for how much longer we'll see. It's got two modes. Here's one. Here's the other. All right, I'm going to bring down the level and bring up the volume a little bit for you guys now that we've got this. Now that we've got this a little bit more squared away. That sounds pretty darn good. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, we're trying to get the tone kind of together here for you guys so that we can get this kind of cooking and start having some fun with it. At this point, it's sounding pretty good. I think if the tones are a little bit too much at the top end there. Let's bring that back. That sounds lovely. I don't know about you guys. It's sounding nice. It's starting to sound pretty full. A little bit tinny still. I'm thinking about doing a Balkan type song here at home, and if I do that, I want to make sure it sounds, the guitar tones are strong. So I sat with Tallulah last night. She needed some work. She's been on the shelf for a bit. This has to be one of the most annoying guitars on the planet to do a neck adjustment on. It's not like most guitars where the adjustment's here. They decided when they did the reissue, they really legitimately reissued it, where they did the 60s style, the old style, where the neck adjustment is actually underneath the pick guard. You have to remove the pickup, the front pickup, and the pick guard to do the adjustment. It is a pain in the fucking ass. I hate it so much. I really, really do. But it only needs to be done about once a year, which is nice, and it's not too temperamental. I'm loving it. I'm using a set of 44 to 9s on this guitar. I love it for chicken picking and for clean playing, not just for all clean playing, but like chicken picking and blues and stuff. I like a lighter set of strings because I can't bend for shit. But with chicken picking, there are bends that just require light strings, like as in you're not getting it done unless you're doing, you know, the 42s or the 44s. These really crazy, like full step bends and crazy stuff way up here even behind the nut. Trust me, it took me a long time to get used to chicken picking, and I still suck at it. I'm going to be honest with you. So be gentle. That sounds great. I don't know about you guys. I think I'm finally feeling this. Let's get a little bit of a slap back going on here. Is there a preset for slap back? There's not. So we'll just make one real fast. I always like to use a preset if I can avoid, but in this case, it's really easy. We'll just take it back here. That's still a bit long. Still a bit short. I gotta get in the middle somewhere. That'll do. And the two modes are different. One is sort of an old guard, old style, supposed to be more of a vintage Telecaster sound, and the push down position is supposed to be more of a new Telecaster sound. So it's pretty damn. It sounds great. Oh my god, I butchered the shit out of that. I didn't really think there was going to be a lot of people here today, but one. Man, just Pedro, it's just you and me today, buddy. It is just letting the boys know that we're on here. Telecaster time. Oh my gosh. Swipe is not my friend. Telecaster time. Oops. Drop in. And hopefully the staff fellows will drop in and see where we're at. And we're good. And we are getting real close to the all the different streams we're going to be doing with the wonderful NAMM Universal that should be, it's almost ready. We can just about taste it. It is. We have a release date now. It will be out. Man, it is cooking in here already, eh?
Yeah.
Crew cooking. We are, okay, let me explain. We are in an area where it typically does not get very warm. It just does not get very hot here. And typically we max out at 25, 27 Celsius. And, you know, occasional dips up to about 30. We are not used to this almost 40 bullshit. We are not tropical people. We are Vikings up here. Yeah, that sounds pretty good so far, guys. I think I'm enjoying it so far. Let's throw a light compressor on here. Let's not really squish it. We don't want to crush it too much. Okay, we gotta compensate him for more than that. That's not bad. That's not bad. We're cooking so far here. And so anyways, we're cooking in here and we had to turn off the AC and we had to turn off our fans because otherwise this mic picks it all up and it'd sound ridiculous. So we're cooking. I'm sacrificing my comfort to be here for y'all today. So thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. We're going to get some sweet tones going today. Let's go through the lineup. Today's lineup starts with the Nembrini Audio Divided 11. This is based on the, Bo, help me on this one. Is it divided by 13? It's an amp. This is not an amp. I'm still not overly. I've done some clip research. I'm just basically on the amp. Divided by 13. Bo, what do you got for me? Yeah, but the thing is, Bo, that's an everyday thing there. It's not an everyday thing here, so it feels like you're in the fucking belly of the beast, you know? Divided by 13. What's the model, though? All right, that's a fun little lick to have in your back pocket, eh? Just a fun little lick to have in your back pocket for country players. If I could actually do it. And then up here. All right, I'm going to play a riff of the day today, but over the course of this stream, I'm going to have to learn to perfect this riff because it's a tough riff. But if you're a true American, you'll know this riff. It sounds great. I'm still getting used to these pickups. This is just showing my extreme versatility as a guitar player. Man, I was so hard into chicken picking for such a long time. It was during college, and all I did during college is studied. All I did during college was studied and did school and chicken picked. That's all I did. I was Telecaster crazy during college. Every Telecaster I could find on the local marketplace or anywhere close, I was just buying up Telecasters, refurbishing them, sending them on out the door for almost no profit whatsoever just to do it. It was fun, man. Like ripping apart made in Mexico Telecasters. Oh God, if you've never done it, you got to get one. If Telecasters aren't your thing, get a made in Mexico Strat. Gut it. Take all the pickups, throw them directly in the garbage. The Squire, not a Squire either. I'm talking about made in Mexico. The Squire Classic Vibe and the higher end or older Squires are okay. Those things are deadly, actually. Really well made and really nice. They're basically made in Mexico, just quality-wise, but they're more of an import, right? And I know that both are imports, but I just mean like an overseas. Probably, where are they made? China? Are Squires made in China or is it Korea? I can't recall. In any event, if you haven't got yourself a made in Japan or a made in Mexico Telecaster, taking the pickups out, replace the pickups, change the wiring. That's all I did with this one, was change the pickups. Not everything else is original on this because everything on the made in Japan models is actually it's all quite high quality. But when it comes to the made in Mexico ones, man, the pickups tend to be kind of garbage. And it just take them and throw them out in the trash. Get yourself something nice, replace them. You get to do all the soldering. Telecasters are super fucking easy. Strats are a little more complicated, but not really that bad at all. You just take the whole plate off and you can work at your leisure. It's all pretty easy going. If you're learning to wire, Telecasters and Strats are pretty easy as long as you're not looking into like one of those 900 position Strat switches. Typically the 5-way switch is pretty easy to master with the wiring on, a lot of diagrams and everything. So if you're out there right now and you've got a made in Mexico Telecaster that maybe doesn't really motivate you because they sound okay as is, but they don't play, and they play okay as is, of course, but really to get that twang and that pop out of them, you need to get a different set of pickups. Jeremy Richter, out of the fucking where is this guy? He just comes out of nowhere sniping. Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Have you been here before? If not, welcome. My name is Tyler, and welcome to the AmpSim universe. I'm not sure if we've talked in a stream before or not. It is hot as fuck. It is my birthday weekend. I'm celebrating like a child, where the whole weekend is my birthday weekend. You can do that. I think everybody should always do that. Celebrate on the weekend closest to your birthday. Take that whole weekend and just fucking live it up. If your birthday's on a Wednesday, okay, do it the weekend after or the weekend before, just so you have to really get into it, right? Make sure give yourself a whole weekend. Don't just give yourself half a day or an evening. Make sure you give yourself a whole fucking weekend of things that you want to do. One of the things I wanted to do was come on here and do a live stream thing. So got to bring the treble back. I want to change the cab up. We have a 13, we have the divided by 13, 112, the Bogner. Fucking Bogner! Ooh. Oh my gosh, that sounds wonderful. That sounds delicious. With the Vox cap, oh yeah. This might actually replace my Nembrini audio. Clean favorite is actually the voice. His Vox sim is amazing. If you haven't tried it out, make sure you go try it. It's fucking incredible. It's really, truly great. But I might like this more. This thing is superb. All right, that sounds pretty good. Apart from my playing being sub fucking poor. I cannot do that. That's a fun song to play. Not that I'm executing it at all. Not even a little bit. Jeremy, just caught you while surfing. Sim connoisseur, so I'm hanging in. Hey, you know what? We're here for roughly, we do a lot of these. Check over some of the ones from the past if you'd like. We get a little long-winded. We do a lot of talking, but I can promise you that everything we do here is for the amp sim universe, whether it be learning how to fix a guitar, maintain a guitar, learning how to cut costs wherever possible on things, and still get amazing tone, and taking care of your signal chain, taking care of your DI signals is so important. A lot of things we like to preach, and above all, one thing we love to do here is we love to nurture the relationship between amp sims and the analog gear that these have been modeled after. There's a disconnect, and it's getting larger and larger, where current amp sim users and the younger breed are starting to become quite disconnected from the actual analog gear, that all of the tones and things that they love in their modelers and profilers, they've become quite disconnected with some of that gear and who it was designed by, when it came out, which artists use this kind of stuff. We love to focus on that type of stuff too and really nurture that relationship. And so, yeah, thanks for hanging in. Appreciate you. While we've got you here, who are some of your favorite developers, some of your favorite products? And if, above all, curiously, what is your style of choice when you play? Are you a heavy player? Are you all over the place like myself? Do tell. We do like to ask people, the new folks around here. I like to get to know people. So sue me for if I'm asking too many questions. You're like, man, I just dropped in. Fuck. What's with the third degree? We just like to get to know people here. And if you have any questions while we're here, we have several staff members that are always lingering around the chat, plus myself, so don't be shy to ask it. Sounds terrific. Did I accidentally? No, I don't want the moves. Did I? I don't want the moves, man. I don't want the moves. I want to make sure we're on our playlist here because I don't want to get nuked. The last thing I want to do is get nuked for a playlist, for like a copyright thing. And I've been getting those like left, right, and center. I really don't care that much. No one's starting to kick me off. Just like artists are like, yeah, we're cool with you sharing our stuff, but if you ever get this monetized, we get the money. And I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? It's not like I'm gonna end up with millions of fucking views here. I'd rather give you guys some quality tunes in the background, and I honestly don't care if I make $1 off this, folks, because it's not my job at the end of the day. This is a fucking hobby, and we do this because we fucking love it. We're also doing it shortly. We are going to be supporting the brand new release of NAMM Universal. So excited! If you are not in the know, and you don't know what the Neural Amp Modeler is yet, not Neural DSP, but the Neural Amp Modeler. It's free. It's 100% free. You can go to Tone Hunt and get these wonderful fucking captures that get loaded right in. It's almost like you've got a Kemper on your computer. Some people, some NAMM nerd right now hears that, he's going to lose it. It's not like a Kemper. It's nothing like, like. They're very, very passionate about this piece of tech. Now, what we've done with WaveMind, we've gone to put together a lovely signal chain where you get to use all kinds of fun things. We've got a lovely UI made by Lewin Albani, and ours is 100% free. You don't have to pay a dime. What do we get out of this? We're just having fun. We like to give you cool shit. So we designed a few things with developers. We've also got a free plugin right now called the Sword that you can go get. It looks something like this. You can get it from Audiority right freaking now. And this thing is like going to be your Boosty McBoost / EQ boost of all boosts. Go and get it. It's 100% free. Go and get it. Make sure you do. And let us know what you feel, how you feel about it. The thing can be used all sorts of different ways. Let us know how you think and how you feel about it next time you happen to drop by a stream. Now, it's the lineup. We got a little bit sidetracked. Plugin number 1 on the lineup today. You guys have seen it. It's the Nembrini Audio Divided 11. This thing is freaking awesome. I'm going to continue to use it. I'm not switching amp sims just yet. We've got the Fuse Audio Labs F59. This thing is a sleeper. It's a sleeper. This is a sleeper developer with a ton of talent, a huge resume. Does stuff for Neol, does stuff for Brainworks Plugin Alliance, does stuff for all. He's incredible. And if your thing is old vintage type gear, this is your Graceland. I tell you right now, if I shit you not, this is a plugin developer that focuses on nothing made any earlier than 1979. This is all old stuff, and this is a guy who's obsessed over this type of stuff and does things the right way. No black box modeling here. He models from scratch. This dude is an absolute ninja. So go and check that out. It's gonna be on our list. Neural DSP, don't have to introduce that company at all to you guys. 100%. You guys are very well aware, and you guys probably know who Corey Wong is. I'm gonna be an ignorant fuck here and tell you guys that even though the guy is gigantic, the guy is a huge superstar. I had no idea who he was when this plugin came out. Much like Pliny, had no idea who Pliny was. I have no idea. Call me a boomer if you'd like. I'm 15, almost 20 years off being a boomer. 20 years younger than a boomer, but you can call me one if you'd like. But I had no idea who Pliny was. Loved his plugin. No idea who Corey Wong was. Love his plugin. Huge respect to both those players, although they operate in circles that, genre-wise, isn't necessarily the first thing I would reach for, but at the same time, monumental amounts of respect because the skill level is through the fucking roof. Corey Wong, very, very, also one of the best showmen you'll see on stage. The dude really, really gets into his playing, and it's really strange because the guy plays some complex stuff and really, really hammers it out there. Doesn't just stand there and expect you to be baffled and awestruck by only his playing alone, like the dude from like, what's that? Periphery. Not Periphery. It's the band with the fucking... Tim Henson. Yeah. That dude just sort of stands there and like your Marvelite is playing. But man, I'm telling you, go check out Corey Wong if you haven't seen him. Also, the dude that plays bass with him, Joe Dart. Oh my God. That guy's superb. Super fun to watch. Guy's got a sexy signature bass out right now too. All right, next. Kuasa amplification match lock. We're going to be going over this as well. This is a whole bunch of different Fender amps under one roof, 2 different channels, 3 different amps, 2 channels per amp. Very, very cool plugin. If you've never heard of Kuasa, Kuassa, never heard of them before, go and check them out. I'm telling you, you will not forget it the day that you checked out who Kuasa was. And I'm telling you, lots of very high quality plugins over there, whether it's pedals, whatever it is you guys want, check it out. Very nice people. Based in Indonesia, wonderful company. If you haven't heard of them before, you have now. And trust me, there's something for everyone. They've got a PV, they've got a Mesa, they've got a couple of old plugins that I will admit are a little bit on the suspect side at this point. I will not vouch for Amplification Cream or Vermilion. Those are kind of obsolete, and I don't really like the tones from either of them, if I'm going to be straight and honest with you guys. But Caliburn and Forward, fan-fucking-tastic. So buy with confidence, and the price, so affordable. All right, going back to Divided 11. And I think I'm going to be using 2 different Telecasters today, and I think that this one is just really... guys, be honest, you guys have a certain stigma in your mind. There's this way that we all feel about active pickups, and I feel the same fucking way. I've tried. I used to be an EMG endorsed artist, and I have tried all of their pickups, and one of the sets that I've tried was their Telecaster set. Didn't like it at all. I did not like their Telecaster set at all. I didn't feel like it sounded like a Telecaster. There are EMG pickups I like, there are some I don't, but I had this like, wait a minute. When Fishman suggested, hey, maybe you try this set, I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's try that set. And I had my doubts, but this does not sound like an active set of pickups. I wish it was a James Burton Telecaster I'm playing. No, man, it's not a James Burton. This is a made in Japan reissue of a 60s floral. This in itself, man, the story of this guitar, maybe because it is a long-winded story, maybe I'll tell a little bit later in this stream, although I'll be using a different guitar later in the stream. But let's just say that this sat at my local guitar store for years and years. So long that I went from weekly going to the guitar store and making fun of this guitar on the rack, saying, look at this fucking thing. Who would ever play this flowered fucking thing? And then all of a sudden I went full circle, and all of a sudden I had this obsession with Brad Paisley. Remember, they still had it at the store, went in, made the guy a steal of a deal offer on it, walked out with this guitar, brand spanking new. It sat on the shelf for almost 20 years, got it for about $700 and something along those lines, $780 along those lines. He just wanted to get it gone. Nobody bought it. And it's got a set of Fishman Greg Koch pickups in them. As mentioned, it's a drop-in. Even the battery is drop-in, and it's got a battery pack, so you don't have to drill or you don't have to route anything on the back. It's pretty sweet. It just drops right in, and it actually charges with a USB, which is the weirdest thing ever. You're plugging, it's super weird to charge it, but it, again, like, you don't notice that this is an active set of pickups. You just don't. Now, if you're a country guy, then you know what? You came to the right place, because I was obsessed with twang. For many years, I've obsessed over every different type of guitar tone and how to acquire said guitar tone with plugins, and as many plugins as possible. And prior to this, I did something called Honest Amp-Sim Reviews, where I did like full months where we would focus on country and plugins. And so I've definitely sat here for hundreds of hours, probably, just sitting here playing country, looking for the best twang that you could possibly get. And I have definitely found the best free to the best like paid twang around the market. Tonex, I'm going to say you can do better. You like Tonex. A lot of people like Tonex. I think, and I'm just going to say this out loud. I think that even, in my opinion, side by side, the Neural Amp Modeler versus Tonex, the Neural Amp Modeler on its own, without the additions that other companies like we're gonna make, Wavemind rather is gonna make, and Two Notes Audio is made that you can use in the amp profiles. When I use them side by side, thanks so much to IK Multimedia, by the way, for giving us Tonex to try out and check out. I've used thousands of profiles, thousands of Tonex profiles. And then with NAMM, I had to use a handful of profiles before I was like, whoa, blown away. Tonex has yet to blow me away. And I'm just saying that we're not like disagreeing, not debating. I'm saying that if you're really looking for the twang, I think you could probably, if you really want to get the best twang you can get for your buck, I think we could probably find you some better twang than you're getting with Tonex. Even for free, I've gotten some really truthfully amazing twangy tones with NAMM for free, with Tonex, with captures rather from Tone Hunt. So if you haven't played around with the Neural Amp Modeler yet, I strongly advise that you do it. But at the end of this month, start of next month, we're gonna be releasing our plugin, and so then in the pack we're gonna be sending along with it. And when you install it, you're gonna get access to a whole bunch of clean profiles, and there's not going to be a compressor built in though, unfortunately, but you won't really need one. I think you're going to get some stuff that you think, you be the judge. Honestly, I think if you try it out, you're going to get some stuff that I think is going to blow you away. Honestly, if you're blown away by Tonex, I think this stuff is going to blow you away even further. That's just my personal opinion. Going back to your comment about the James Burton Telecaster, once upon a time, I happened to catch a local fella that was selling the one with the blue flames on it. And also he had a Richie Kotzen for sale, but they were just too far out of my price range. They were just too far out of my price range. That's my dream guitar, my dream Telecaster. If I could own any Telecaster ever made, it would be a Crook Telecaster, probably, the ones that Brad Paisley used to use before now he's with Fender, but that or the Richie Kotzen Fender Telecaster. Oh gosh, what I would do to own that guitar. But you just never find them for anything, any mortal price. Oh man, there's one lick that I just, no matter how many times I play it, I cannot master it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna try to play it slow here. Why won't you go? Why won't the harmonic sound there? That's very strange. The harmonic is just dead there. Something in the pickups, I wonder? I don't know. That's interesting. It's just totally dead right there. That's really strange. I don't think I've ever even dealt with that. Very dead harmonics there. Super weird. Fine here. Fine here. But when I get to that fifth, plunk, plunk, plunk. Next guitar I get, next Telecaster, I'll try the lick again. But anyways, it's a fucking tough lick. I wrote it for myself based on another, like, just a kind of altered version of a different lick that I was trying to learn. And I still can't play it. I hope you guys are as sweaty and hot and disgusting as myself and the misses are here. Well, I've got a gloss. Look at this shit. Yeah. I've got a gloss. I'm a big whiner. You'll never hear me complain about the cold. And guys, I've done plenty of streams in the past where it was minus 40 outside, minus 45 Celsius out just on the other side of that fucking window. I've done those. Seldom do I complain apart from saying, guys, it's damn cold out there. It's impressive, like, that we live in a place that's this cold. I would say that arguably it's much more impressive for people that have got to live in hot places than cold places. Because guys, we've got heat. You can grab blankets. You can grab all kinds of shit. But man, in the heat, if you don't have AC, you're gonna die. You're gonna die in some of those places. Like, man, Bo's talking about a daily temperature of 43 Celsius. Like, what is that, a real number? Yeah. Even the missus over here is like, the fuck did you just say what I think you said? Oh, there's the one. Yeah, it's still dead. The strings I'm using currently? No, they're brand new. Actually, they listen to them. They're crisp. And here's my signal chain currently. It's an old ass compressor plugin that I still like to use for some strange reason. It's free. You can get it from Distorque. I'm not sure if Distorque, DISTORQUE. I'm not sure if that is still online today. If not, then you can probably find the Distorque stuff on VST for free. Although they used to have their own website. VST number 4 free. You might be able to find it there as well. Distorque has some pretty cool pedals, actually. The fuzz pedal, and they've got like a tone bender, and they've got some other crap, and a chorus pedal called Azurite that's free. That is truthfully was still one of my favorite chorus plugins on the market today, and it's free. You can go get it right now from Distorque or VST for free, guaranteed. It's going to have it. It's called Azurite, Azurite. Very cool plugin. I would fully endorse it. Obviously, I'm not getting any money to endorse that. Isn't that funny, though? It's weird because there's so many, like, man, it's strange. I watch a lot of YouTubers, and it's strange how many of those YouTubers will just not. I understand that they YouTubing is a job for them, and their time is worth money. But it's amazing that, like, they could find the coolest thing on the planet, and they just would not drop a line on that without payment from someone. Man, I don't really get that. I get having you be a YouTuber as a job. I understand that. No disrespect to wanting to be paid for your time. 100%. I'm paid for mine when it comes to other parts of this industry that I currently work in, whether it's artist relations or product design. I'm always paid well for my time by all developers I work. I'm going to be doing some off-the-cuff work for Nembrini this summer, actually, and does that make me biased? Hell no. No, it doesn't make me biased at all. It just, it's one of those things where, like, I understand you being paid for your money, but at the same time, if you find something that is just right up your alley and you think it's like cool as fuck, and some of these guys won't even check it out. You know, even if it interests them, they will just not even check it out. And I get it. Again, I get it, because sometimes using products as a job, you can get really burned out really fast from things like plugins, amp sims, and other things like that. Even just actually testing real amps, there are guys that just get burned out, even though they're getting constantly sent these boutique amps to test. They get a little bored with it. And because when you make anything cool can be a job, and it starts feeling like a job, that's when you can start to get burned out. I don't want to get burned out here either, so. This sounds wonderful. Just sounds so good. Oh boy. Oops. Try that again. That's another lick that I can't seem to play anymore. Sloppy, sloppy. All right, so what I've got going on today, guys, it's like I said, it's the birthday weekend. We're hanging out. We went and played a round of disc golf this morning before it got too spicy, but doing the same tomorrow. Excited about that. Going to do some fun things this weekend. I'll be hopefully back again tomorrow with a stream. I'm writing some, I don't know what you want to call it, but call it party thrash. I've been writing some on the couch. And I have a local friend of mine that I've wanted to work on something with since we were in a band together like 20 years ago. And he's fairly actively recording at home, and I need to get, but he's also kind of on one of those bumps where he's just like very unmotivated. And so we're both gonna like dig it out of the, dig it out of the rut we're stuck in. And he's gonna do some wheedlies with a whammy bar that I can't do here at home. And see if we can cook something cool up, and I'll walk you guys through it. Tomorrow is going to be about maybe selecting some guitar tones as I do some playing over riffs. That might be a thing. We'll see. Tomorrow's going to be either way thrash oriented, and I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. And that should be sometime tomorrow. What am I going to use? Well, I've already decided one side of the guitar tone is going to be vintage based. So I'm going to use a DiMarzio super distortion pickup, and the other side of it's going to be more of a modern based with a set of Fishman Matt Heafys, and then I'm going to blend that together. So I think for the vintage side, I'm going to stick with maybe like the Neural DSP Mesa Mark Suite, and for the modern side, you guys be the judge. What is a great modern thrash amp? And go in, and not that we're here dealing with that right now. But go. Also, going back to Jeremy, and you also said punk. This is another good place to be because I grew up in the punk ska movement. All that punk rock guitar tones, skate punk, and that type of thing are some of my favorite tones on the planet. Same as like psychobilly and rockabilly, which also kind of psychobilly fits in with that whole thing. Also different types of punk. Old school punk, new school punk. We've had episodes on both those things, so head back in the list. Maybe you might dig some of that up. Also on our Facebook, if you're curious, we did a whole bunch of streams in practice prior to hitting YouTube, so check some of those out if you're curious. We'll be doing some more stuff fairly soon on punk rock, actually. Can't wait. Man, as much as I don't want to get out of this plugin right now, we got to go. It sucks sometimes when you get really like situated with a plugin. Like I'm situated right now. I'm super situated. I don't want to stop using this plugin, but we got to go. We got to make this a show, right? So the set time for the Nembrini audio divided 11 is over. I think it might still be on intro price, guys. If it is still on intro price, get this right now. This thing is warm. It's snappy. It's got a bunch of different really cool cabinets. You've even got a 412 involved here. So if you want to get a little less twang and a little bit more muscle out of it. How does it sound with a little distortion, you ask? Well, let's find out. That's not where we're gonna go with it though. It's a bit fucking loud. It is that there. All right, so it can get a little angry as well, although these aren't really the pickups that I like to make angry. Not even that edge of breakup necessarily. These pickups, I like to stay as clean as humanly possible with these pickups. When they start to get distorted, I like them a little bit less, and that's where the next set of pickups that I'm going to be using in the next guitar will come in. There's a set of Nordstrands, plus a homemade pickup in the middle. You'll see it's got a middle pickup that I've wired Nashville style, and we'll get into that and what that means. I also really like an added middle pickup because it adds that extra quacky sound, that almost that Dire Straits. I don't know. It's a very unique sound. If you've ever used a Strat or a Nashville style Telecaster that allows you to do the middle and the bridge pairing, man, it's really nice. I'll make it a little bit angry without that nasty boost. See, I like that more than the boost. That's way cooler than the boost. I'm telling you right now. Just turn it up and make that angry. Lovely. So that's the 412 cab. We're gonna get out of here now. The Nembrinis. Yeah, I can't. I'm like, it's time to go, and then I'm like, no. This is awesome. I don't want to stop using this plugin. I'd like to make that known for the record, but for the sake of having a show here, we got to go. All right, next on our list, we're gonna get crazy with Archetype Corey Wong. This thing is awesome, but I'm going for something specific first. I'm going straight for this weird funk box. This thing is neat. I like it. I enjoy it. It's fun to use. But I'm not going to bother with this right there. We're going to go over a couple of the presets. Let's do it. Can we get... Oh, wow. There's bass tones in here. I had no idea. That looks pretty cool. I had no idea. I don't think I've ever really gone over a lot of the presets on here. So this thing's really cool though. You can turn the cabinet off if you'd like. And I can't remember how to turn the cabinet off. Oh, this one here. Okay, you can turn the cabinet off because it's kind of a DI box. As if we're listening to the most this is like the most non-clean music ever. It's just on the list, guys. Sorry. Okay. And this thing can get real quirky. So you got some time effects back here if I want it. And... little Law and Order. Something like that. This is my favorite part of this plugin is this weird DI box. I don't know why I don't use the cabinet. I guess I could. There's nothing wrong with it. Just gets less quacky as soon as you bring the cabinet in, and if I turn it off, it still keeps that. Here's the cool thing about Nembrini. If you get their central, he's got this thing called the Central Hub, or is it Nembrini Central it's called? Tune up. This thing is kind of a warrior for staying in tune, but still needs the odd touch. So get the Nembrini Central Hub, and then they have tons of freeware. And the reason I say get that is because you can download the free trials just straight from the hub, and it's super easy and super quick. And they also have all the freeware in one section there, so that you can have you can grab all the freeware in like kind of one fell swoop. And one of the things that I use in every stream, and I don't use it because like I'm getting paid again by Nembrini Audio. I've known Igor since prior to him starting his company. He's a wonderful human being, a wonderful guy to work for, and a wonderful guy. And he makes wonderful stuff. If he didn't make wonderful stuff, he could be the nicest guy in the world. There are some really nice people in this industry that don't make very good sounding stuff. It's just the way it is. Not everybody has the particular set of skills, but he does. Igor Nembrini's got that particular set of skills. And this thing right here, I use it in every single possible stream. It's always in my streaming chain. It's always in my recording chain. Whenever I need any kind of delay, it's just usually my first rip, and this is free, and it's easy. It's easy and it's effective, and I'll pretty much always grab for it. So check it out. That's the analog rack delay. It becomes as part of a bundle as well. You can pay for the bundle, but this is absolutely free if you want to get it. 100%. I would say get it if you can. Yeah. This thing sounds great. And this was definitely this plugin. I remember I would love to have seen, like, there's been a couple of plugins that have come out from Neural DSP that when they came out, the fanboys were just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. This isn't progressive metal. You know, like a few different things that have come out. Like when the Archetype Tom Morello came out, they rioted in the fucking streets. They fucking lost their shit over that one. I don't know why, because it was a fantastic plugin, super good plugin. And it was just like it was so different from like the usual like cookie cutter format. It's very different. I love that plugin. It's great. But when the Corey Wong plugin came out, the dude is just the people who did know who he was. The people that didn't know who he was were like, I don't know who this guy is. And the people who did, it didn't seem like there was a lot of fans of his, but seemed like there was a lot of people that were like, holy shit, like this guy's huge and he's very well respected. So there was a level of respect. Nobody was like, oh damn, this fucking sucks. It was either you knew who he was or you didn't. And if you knew who he was, you had respect. Even people who don't like his music respect the guy is an absolute monster of a player and a great showman. So like, I don't like his music that much, but I will tell you, I wouldn't go see, even if he came to my town, I wouldn't go see him. Well, not because I'm disrespectful, but because I'm not a fan. I would go and like actually go see a concert of his. I'm just saying that the man is, but like I can sit back and watch from afar and go, holy shit, that guy's talented. You know what I mean, right? I hate to say that, but even if Guthrie Govan himself came to my town, I wouldn't go see him. I can watch him fucking shred on YouTube. I don't need to see him in person. You know what I mean? Like he'll blow my mind just fine on the computer here. Who's an artist you guys feel that way about? Tell me in the comments. I have a bunch. There's tons of artists that I respect with tons and tons and tons of respect, worlds of respect, but I'm just not a fan. And that's okay. And that's the weird thing these days. People they expect that you have to be a fan of everyone. You must be a fan. If you're not a fan, fuck you. Oh, you're not allowed to have your own opinion. But like, I'm the type of guy that I'm always looking for something I can respect in anyone that's being creative. Man, the sustain is wonderful. This thing is really cool. And if you haven't gotten a chance, it's got some really fun stuff going on. It's a great compressor. I don't need my compressor because, of course, there's already one rip in here, and that's fine. And it's got the big rig overdrive. We're not going to tap on that because then we kind of need to start thinking about making sure we think about the cabinet section. When you start adding distortion, that's when you're going to start to need a cabinet. Right now we can get away with it because we are playing purely clean tones. There's not an inch or an edge or anything, any kind of breakup going on right now. It's clean, but as soon as we start adding distortion, you start to get that weird, the kind of weird sounds. You know exactly what I mean. When you're playing on full distortion, you accidentally bypass the cab, and it's like you know what I mean. It doesn't sound good. So we get away with it right now because it's 100% clean tone, it's 100% clean DI signal, and we don't need no stinking cabinet. And I think this sounds wonderful, guys. I love this plugin. It is such a unique bird. There is no other plugin like this. It is, I would say, in my top 2 archetypes. It's so unique. This one broke the mold of, like, you know, the mold that there was that Rabia plugin, the Plini, and there's a bunch of them that I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There's a bunch of archetypes that overlap. They do. There's like 3 or 4 of them that just provide, that don't really do anything different from each other. I didn't like the Tim Henson one at all. The lead tones were fucking-tastic, but it didn't really do a lot for me. This one came out and it provided a bunch of stuff that I don't have. Clean tones that are great for funk and blues and really anything, any clean tone you could ever need or want to devise is available right here in this plugin. So you get this, you get the first amp. This is, like I said, it's the Corey Wong DI Funk console. This is kind of like just a DI amp. I don't know what you want to call this thing. It's very cool. I enjoy it. Second amp you get here, again, no idea what this is based on. This one needs a cabinet. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, is based on, or at least was, the inspiration for it was a Dumble. And I don't know anything more or less than that about what's going on under the hood, nor do I really care, to be straight and up and honest with you guys. Don't use the wah because I don't have a foot controller. And I mean, if you're someone with a foot controller, it's my understanding that this wah is really good. Okay, so we've got the compressor. You've got an envelope filter as well. We can get that in. We're not going to bother with the gain pedals. It's fun. That's fun. It's good. And this is something where, like, I don't know if how much I'm going to use this or not use it. I guarantee I'm going to use it for this Balkan stuff I'm going to be using. I'm going to be doing 100%. I'm going to be using a blend of this and something else on this list. I'm trying to decide, because for the Balkan stuff, it seems like they use a little bit of some the tones are a little grimier. They do use those edge of breakup tones for their clean tone, and it just kind of rolls all the way through. So this is the envelope filter, the Postals, aka the Postal Service. It's also using the 4th position compressor. Don't really know what that means. The 4th position. Oh, I see. 4th position. That means it would say it's probably going to sound good. Is that a pickup switch that we're seeing on that? Let me see. Let's go to the screen. What is it trying to say? The 4th position compressor, but it's showing that wonderful position on a Strat that I like so much that we were talking about, where you're between the middle pickup and the bridge pickup. That's the magic position. But why is it showing that on the compressor specifically? I'm curious now. I've never noticed that. I've used this plugin a whole bunch of times. Never really put that never really connected. Sometimes it takes a long time to connect things when you're old. So we're going back to rig 1. And again, I'm using this wonderful DI Funk machine. Sounds pretty good. And if I'm going to get a little bit snappier with it. That sounds beautiful, guys. This is truly, we don't always get to go over tones that we would call beautiful on this show, but I would call these tones absolutely beautiful, breathtaking. So if you've not already done your 14 days of glory with the Corey Wong archetype, I suggest go do it right now. Even if you're a metal guy, every metal guitar player out there, I don't care who you are. I don't care how grimy and dirty you. Every single one of you guys needs, absolutely must have, and needs a good clean tone in your bag of tricks, because there's always going to be little parts where you're in your even your mind, you're like, man, that might be sound good with a little bit of clean guitar there, you know. Even if it's in your mind, you don't want to say it to your bandmates. You don't want to say it out loud because you're thinking, do I really need clean tone? And then you just keep thinking about how cool it would sound if there's like a haunting clean tone in behind, you know, what you're doing. And, you know, something along the... You know what I mean? Not too bad. You guys saw those chords. Love this guitar, love this plugin, and I'm also going to love to take a quick little break. We're going to take a 3 or 4 minute break, guys, as we typically do in these streams on the hour. I don't know exactly when I started. I think it's been about an hour. I'm going to take about a 3 or 4 minute break there, get some water and replenish, and I will come back to you guys for the second half of the show. We're going to be doing some other things, kind of haunting clean. Sorry, kind of haunting clean tones reminds me of the Diablo. Yeah. Clean tones, clean thoughts. I don't know about how clean my thoughts are today, but my tones, they are definitely clean. And guys, I could not be having more fun. I mean, I know these aren't always the most popular streams where we like to sit here and get clean and talk about the cleaner side of guitar. But man, like Tallulah here, she likes to get out and be seen. Tallulah can't get seen if I can't come on here and play more clean guitar. So we're gonna have to come on and play more clean guitar because it is fun. It's more relaxing, and I just need I need to replenish my clean riffage because my riffage, when it comes to distorted riffs, I can riff all day. I can just literally just riff all day and when it comes to distortion. But when it comes to clean tones, it's not quite as much. I gotta upkeep my. Last night I was playing. And things felt pretty good, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more of the chicken picking, especially. I forgot it. I haven't played that riff in like fucking such a long time. Fuck, I honestly don't want to stop playing this guitar and this plugin right now. It's a great day. We've had some great tones today so far. We're having a good time. I'm having a good time. I hope that you guys are having a good time as well. Holy cow, is it fucking ever burning hot in here though. So, but one more hour of streaming and then we are going to have to get out of here and come back tomorrow because we're going to have to get this AC cranked up again. I thought maybe I'd do 3 bills today, do a solid 3-hour stream, but man, that's not going to work for me. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. So guys, give me 3 minutes. I'll be back in about 4 minutes with my other Telecaster. See how much it differs from what we've got going on right now and get into some of the other plugins that we've got in the list. And hopefully you guys will stick around for that. Thanks for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for being part of this community. And I'll see you in a few. Hello, everybody. Woo, it's fucking spicy in here. What a fun riff that is. Oh my gosh, listen to that solo. Hold on. Can we bring that back for a second? Can we listen to that again? Hold on, bring it. Holy shit. That dude just tore the roof off the place. Gosh. What am I thinking about listening to the background today? It sucks getting roasted by bands that, like, I don't know, it's so silly. Why do I get copyright notices for listening to songs in the background of what I'm doing here? It's just so silly. Excuse me. So silly. But yet, how does it work? It's just so silly that I can sit here and listen to someone's music in the background of a stream. And I can do that, and it's a copyright strike. But someone can go make $1 million, not $1 million, but someone could go make 30, 40, 50 grand off a video covering something. As long as they do the legwork and make their own backing track. It's so strange. All right, guys. So I am now going to use my other Telecaster. I call this Telecaster Waylon, and obvious reasons. This does not have a leather wrap. It has a leather pickguard. This is a leather, custom-made leather pickguard that I bought off of reverb.com. There's a guy selling these Waylon pickguards, and I said, hey, can you cut an extra hole in there for a middle pickup? Because it didn't have the extra hole for the middle pickup. And he says, sure, I can. So he made it, and he did it. It took a little getting used to because right here is rubbing against my hand in a way that was not okay. So I had to like melt wax over all the seams of this, the leather here, in order for it to feel comfortable. So that's very interesting. I know. Now, to explain what I've got going on with this guitar, standard, this is basically very simple to explain. Standard Telecaster wiring, standard Telecaster switch. No different. It's got a three-way switch that controls these two pickups. Done. No problem. This pickup, however, I have it hardwired to this switch. So if I want to add this pickup, I just engage it. No matter what it's paired with, it's going to pair with anything that's currently active. So I can run all three. I can run these two. I can run these two if I want. Am I going to run all three? No, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't want to do that. If I don't want this pickup and if I just want to turn it off, I can just use the standard Telecaster positions, no problem. And again, this is a set of Nordstrand audio Telecaster pickups. Middle pickup was made by a friend of mine because I didn't have a middle pickup to go with this set. And so he made me one. He was nice enough to make me one that was wound in such a way that would complement the other two. So, all right, let me get tuned up here. And man, my neck has been giving me some issues for a good while now. I don't know what exactly is what is going on. It's guaranteed it's got something to do with how I sleep. I sleep in kind of a weird position and my pillow is not helping it. And when you get older, all it takes is for you to sleep the wrong way a couple of times and you can run into big problems. All right, let me read through the comments here. Didn't they release an updated version of D1 recently? Which, sorry? D1. Did I miss? Maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm past that. Maybe this is something I said 5 minutes ago. I don't know at this point. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of big today. And it's, we're going to kind of just give her. Like I said, tomorrow, I'm not sure what kind of shape I'm in. It's going to be a fun stream though. So that sounds delicious. It's a bit less top end. Now you're going to hear that pickup now. Instantly a different, like dire straits in a switch. Now that is the funk position. If you don't have that middle pickup available, the funk position is the middle position between the two. This would be. I mean, it's going to be, honestly, it's to the ear of the beholder. It's all up to you, whatever you think is the funk position. But traditionally, this, if you're only operating with two pickups, you're going to be like a Telecaster, for example. Traditionally, I've seen most guitar players that played funk on a Telecaster with just two pickups use that middle position, that quacky. And it's where do you, if you're thinking to yourself, wow, that's kind of a familiar sounding sound, where have I heard that particular position before? Well, I'm not, guys, I can actually play that riff pretty well, but close. I get it. So that's typically what he was using, was the middle position in that song and during recording, I'm assuming, because that's what it sounds like. Now, if you have three pickups available, if you're using a Strat, for example, or a Nashville's wired Telecaster, you do have that middle pickup available. So that kind of will trump, in my opinion. You be the judge. Which is funkier? Or which one's funkier? You could use both. You could honestly use both. Use one on one side, one on the other, and you'd be in heaven. Although that's typically not how funk is recorded. Usually you're going to use one guitar. It's going to be balanced one side, probably with some keyboards on the other side instead of two guitars. Or the other guitar is going to be playing more of a lick oriented, like a chord. You know, if one's playing the... Yeah, the one's going to be like... Again, not the minor chords, but you get it. He's going to be doing something more chord-oriented, probably up a little higher. Play That Funky Music is a fine example. One guy's playing the... And the other guy's doing the typical... Something like that. So yeah, that's typically what you're going to do. You're going to hear left and right. But should you wish, if you were going to do two sides of rhythm tracks, that's what you could do. You could do two different positions if you have access to two guitars. I mean, either one. Diablo 1. I don't recall, like, I know I played Diablo 1, but I don't remember it at all. We have Diablo sitting on the newest Diablo sitting on the shelf. Actually, that sounds fun. We were thinking of something we could play together. That might be an option. That might actually be an option. Man, you know what's really good though? If Jeremy, if Jeremy's still in the stream, you know what sounds really sick? And what tuning really makes, I think as far as I can research, as I've researched, the first genre to use E flat was country. Not like thrash metal, obviously, but thrash metal was one of the first heavier genres to use E flat as sort of almost the standard tuning. A lot of country and a lot of blues used E flat as well, as I'm finding out. Going back even to like and then there's obviously jazz. That's a whole other ballpark, because jazz that was the first genre to use 7 strings. Jazz was the first genre to use really low baritone tunings. Although country has been using the baritone, almost like the bass guitar for a very long time. So really, I don't know. You guys be the judge. And then we can get into surf. Surf is also one of the first genres that used E flat as sort of Dick Dale anyways used it as, that was his trademark, was tuning down. He tuned down to D, I think D flat at one point, C sharp. Good times today, guys. All right, so we're gonna have to peace out, Corey Wong. Peace out, buddy. We are gonna go back. That's a great plugin, by the way. Let's go over it one more time and show you guys what's available here. We have pedals. We've got an envelope filter, and we've got a compressor. We've got two distortion pedals. We'll call them overdrive pedals. One's a tube screamer, one's an overdrive. They kind of make that obvious with the big rig overdrive and the tuber, and they kind of make it obvious with the green and the yellow. But there is a difference between a tube screamer and an overdrive pedal. Look that up, because obviously I'm not going to give you the words any better than someone that you could just type right up here in the little search bar above. Difference between tube screamer and overdrive. Whew. Bo probably has it off the cuff though. Dude, he's mentioning Buck Owens now. Yeah, absolutely. Buck Owens. And who is I can't remember the name of his absolute monster. What was his name? Who was the monster, absolute beast that played his guitar? The absolute beast of a lead guitar player that followed Buck Owens around, that had his guitar up here. Played his guitar like this. Don Rich? Was it Don Rich? Ooh, did I fucking pull that out of whatever lock and key that I had to unlock up there mentally? Is it Don Rich? Maybe. Hey! Yeah! I did it! Absolutely. Sweet. Fado. I've not heard of that individual. I have a Strat as well, but what did I do to it? I made it sound like a Telecaster. I don't know why. I wired it just like this, where I could have that metal pickup where in whatever position I wanted it, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for whatever reason, the wiring I used just made it sound like a Telecaster. So I also have a Strat that sounds like a Telecaster, and then I also have a Tele Bird, which is a home build guitar. I've used it on a stream maybe once or twice if you guys have seen it. Hopefully I get a chance to use the Tele Bird at another time, but gosh, it's been through a whole lot of pickups, and not once was I ever really all that happy. I think I'm going to have to try even something else, because I'm still not very happy with the way that the guitar sounds. It plays nice, but it just, something about it just doesn't sound right to me, so we'll have to see. All right, so we're going to get rid of Archetype Corey Wong. Oh wait, no, we're going to go over just real quick the amps. As mentioned, we're going to go over the plugin. You get the DI amp. You get this amp that, again, I cannot for the clean machine. Arguably, this is also a clean machine, but this one is also a clean machine. Now, this one right here, I remember we're not using it obviously right now, but this one is quite nice for some like nice soulful leads. Really, really wonderful. But we're going to get rid of that for today. And there are also matched cabs. And in the then you have the 80s, which is like a lo-fi type thing, is it not? If I'm not mistaken. Fuck. Now I'm curious enough that I have to re-engage it. Hang on. Oh, it's like a fast chorus. All right. In any event, I should have just looked at rate, mix, and width and figured out, yeah, you fucking idiot, it's probably a chorus. Gosh. Not moving too quick today, guys. All right. Bye-bye. See you later. Now we're on to amplification match log, which means we're gonna throw some of our own stuff in here. And guys, we gotta end this reliance on convenience of having everything inside a standalone plugin at all times. Guys, we gotta get rid of this. We gotta get rid of it. We gotta stop holding developers up to like one developer that you happen to enjoy. Well, this developer doesn't do this and that and this and that, and got to get away from the convenience a little. Learn how to build a signal chain inside your DAW. You will be able to use an infinite amount more products and get an infinite amount more tones with being able to build your own signal chains. It's not hard. Think of it like the start of your signal chain is here. The end of your signal chain is going to your amp. And this thing is honestly, it's just laid out just like you would lay something out in an analog form. If you're not sure how to do that, signal chains are not hard to figure out. What goes where, what shouldn't go where, what can go in what can go in multiple places. It's not hard to figure out. It really isn't. It just takes a little bit of learning like everything else, and I promise you'll be okay. So we're going to go with amplification match lock from Kuasa right now. 3 different Fender amps. No reverb on board, even though a couple of the amps that have been modeled here for this particular plugin have reverb on board. And that was the one thing about this plugin that I was kind of like, That's the only downside to this, is if you're one of those people that's expecting reverb along with amps that by design should have reverb along with them, but then you're going to be sadly mistaken. But in this case, we don't necessarily need it. We've got the delay that I'm looking for. I've got the plugin. I've got a couple of different cabinets. I have access to a 112, a few different 112s, a 212 and a 410. And then I can blend cabinets A and B, and then I've got my 3D mic business that I can kind of do as people like to have control, that sort of thing. You can do that, or you can kind of go with presets if you'd like. A few different mics that you've got access to as well. You've got access to, I think, 7 different mics. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go with a standard 57 421 because there's nothing that you could, in my personal 100%, just my personal opinion, there's nothing you can't do with a 57 or a couple of 57s, or at very least a 57 and a 421. That's just, you got to learn how to use that different combo. There's a lot of things you can do with it, and I suggest doing what you can to learn all about that if you can. So, shots fired at Trump rally, guys. What happened? Fad memes, what's, hang on a second. Fado, okay. What's happening right now? I don't know what's happening right this exact sec. There's a conversation going on that I feel like I wasn't privy to the start of it. In any event. So this sounds sick already, by the way. If you're not a fan of Fender amps, you might not like this, but every single one of Kuasa's plugins, all of their amplification plugins, we'll call them, they all involve 3 amps, or depending on the amp, 3 different positions and things. There's only a couple plugins that they have one plugin rather that's only 1 amp, but that's the rectifier. It's all just 1 amp on inside that they've done. With this one, it's 3 amps, 2 channels a piece. You also have several different ones. There's one that's got 3 different Marshalls, one that's got 3 different PV/EVH, and you'll get to kind of know how they do things. They've also got a wonderful Vox plugin that's just fantastic, and possibly my favorite orange plugin, an amplification Clarent. And you guys, if you've ever seen me do a Doom episode, they do happen around here quite often. And that's usually the first amp sim I reach for is amplification Clarent from Kuasa. First stop on my list. Anybody that's watched more than a few of my streams in the comments can go ahead and attest to that. It's the first thing I grab for always. And there's a good reason for it, because it absolutely loses it with fuzz attached. It's like it sounds like a wall. It sounds like a bulldozer. So this thing, not a bulldozer, but wonderful. Hang on a second. What? Hold on a second. Oh. Okay. Hang on a second. Did you just say YouTube? live coverage. Apparently there were shots fired at a Trump rally. We're gonna need to see that coverage. You don't say. You don't say that in a political debate in a country that has an insane... I'm not gonna get... No, we don't do politics here, though. I'm okay with you mentioning current news because it is, but we don't do politics here. So we're not gonna be like, I believe in this guy and I believe in this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and say that both those dudes are fucking off their rockers, man. I wouldn't say it's not necessarily political to note that something crazy just happened in the world, though. Like, say if there was a fucking earthquake, or say there was a something, or like a mass shooting or something like that. I am totally fine with somebody mentioning it if it's like a current event. We're not going to talk about it's a death. I'm definitely not going to get on the topic of politics. Because I mean, if we're honestly, let's. I'm going to be honest. Here's my theory on politics. If you're talking about politics while you're trying to do something fun, you're losing. You're losing. You're losing your day. Whatever it is, you're wasting your time. What? It just happened. Yeah, somebody's really on the ball. How fucking good is this tone though? Getting onto the point of tones, that's a pretty good tone. Hold on, get more of a slap back here. Get more of a mix. A little bit less. That sounds pretty good. Holy cow. I'm very impressed with this tone right now. We're at the point right now we're using amplification match lock. We're going to just going to show you guys the differences between amps A, B, and C. Here's amp A. Here's amp B. A little softer sounding. That's a little bit too much on the mix. Is that the note? I think that's the position they used in that riff, the middle position. I have to go over the tabs in that lick again. I was also learning Chattahoochee, and that's a tough song. Basically, it's all hard. If you again, I've done this. This might be the 100th time. Somebody should win something. This might be the 100th time I've preached this in a stream. But guys, if you think you're a great guitar player, you're out there and you fix it. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty fucking good. Okay. That's cool. I appreciate what you are and who you are as a guitar player currently. But I want you to go and do me a favor and learn some chicken picking just for me. And then tell me that's easy for you. It's just it's like you're going to Japan. It's you're still on Earth. But this is a whole other different fucking planet. I've never been there, but I'm assuming that because everywhere I've ever seen in every video and every like testimonial of everybody that's ever been there for the first time literally says it feels like you're on a different fucking planet. This is the same thing with chicken picking. It's like you start chicken picking and you think to yourself, this is a guitar and I've played this instrument before. In fact, I consider myself to be proficient. And then I started listening, I started learning chicken picking, and I realized that I'm not shit. I am not shit as a guitar player. It's so hard. I don't understand it. And the dudes that do it really well make it look effortless. The Brent Masons, the Johnny Highlands, Brad Paisleys, all the guys from throughout history, whether they played with Willie Nelson or Waylon Jennings, or if you right up to current guys that are playing in absolute abominations. I really don't like modern country very much, but I will vouch for the fact that it's all produced insanely well, maybe overproduced in some cases vocally. That's fine. The guitar tones, though, the guitar tones are second to none. Honestly, the twang is still very much there. Steel guitar is very much there. It sounds great. It's just the vocals aren't my thing these days, but the music is still very much there. So it doesn't really matter. All of those guys make it look effortless, and that's what pisses me off. It's like shredders like Paul Gilbert. He just makes shredding look effortless. And a lot of guys on Instagram and YouTube and everything else are making shredding look effortless these days. But then there's not a lot of young guys doing country shredding on Instagram. Where are the country shredders at? I mean, I know like Austin Crum, he's still doing it. And there's some young guys on there, but I mean, where are the young country shredders? Andy Wood's not young anymore. You know, that dude's older. I think that dude's older than me. So where are the country shredders at? Show me some country shredders. John 5, arguably John 5 can really do it. All right. Anyways. Thanks for sticking around with me today. I'm not sure how much long. I'm probably going to be on for another like 20 minutes or so. And then we're going to get some food in this belly. I didn't realize how much of my guitar is kind of cut off right now. Whoa. I got to get up here. I got to get a little footstool. That's the problem. Because I got to sit up a little bit more so that you guys can see the full guitar. Or I can angle this camera down a tiny bit. We'll see. This is a wonderful Slayer cover, by the way, if you ever heard of it. It's by Acid Drinkers. Seasons the Abyss. Wonderful. Whoa, boy. It's not what I was intending, guys. Sorry. Buddy. All right. Just so you guys are aware what's happening in the background there. Now that's a country song. That's a good Telecaster tone. Hank 3. Typically, Hank 3's shredder of choice is Johnny Highland on his albums. And then he's got another fella that will play some of it live. But it modifies some of the solos as well, because I think he also plays like lap steel. But yeah, modern country that I enjoy, Shooter Jennings. I don't know if you kind of call that modern. He's kind of switched to the 70s rock thing anyways. So, I mean, I'm not sure how country he is anymore. Still a lot of really good country happening out there, guys. And if that's one thing about country guitar that I got addicted to. And like I said, I've been addicted to trying to get a lot of different tones over the years. Got really always been addicted to trying to nail not only just a certain tone, but even a certain artist's kind of basic tones with nothing but plugins, IRs, and amp stems, etc. And it's very, very possible. And one of the tones that I got addicted to is twang. And there's a lot that goes into getting a good twangy guitar tone. Pickups, the way your instrument is set up, strings, your pick, your technique, 100%. It's technique for sure. And it takes a lot to get a really good twangy tone. But once you get it, boy, in my opinion, just me, this is just my opinion, a great twangy tone is as addicting as a great crunchy, crushing, chugging, like high gain, monstrous tone. For me, this is just as addicting, and maybe even more so, because there's so much. I'll say it's equal. Just because it was something different. And this is a made in Mexico Telecaster. When I got it, I have no idea what color the pickguard was. I just remember when I got it, the guy had put a lot of copper shielding on the inside of this guitar, boy. There was a lot of it. I had to pull it out of there. That wasn't what this guitar needed. I guess I don't know what he was trying to do with it, but man, there was a lot of copper stuff going on inside the guitar. a lot of crap I had to pull out, and that stuff. If you've ever, tell me in the chat, have you ever had to pull copper, the copper style? If you've never seen copper shielding, I'm talking about the aftermarket copper shielding, the really sticky stuff that comes off in like the sheets. That stuff, if you've ever worked with it, is so fucking hard on your fingertips, and you don't even realize it's happening because it's so minute. But as you're pulling all that stuff off, it's slicing the shit out of your thumbs and your fingers, but you don't realize it's happening because the cuts are so small. And as you're pulling it out, it just hacks the crap out of your fingers, and it's not fun to work with. I hate it a lot. It leaves crap, like sticky crap, all over the inside of the guitar. Anyways, that's just a memorable scenario when I had to redo this. And when I redid it, I also, like I said, I took the tone knob out, replaced it with that one switch for that one single pickup, and it's been a wonderful guitar ever since. I installed new tuners and a new nut because I wanted that blacked out look, the black nut and the black locking tuners, and it's sort of a modern take on something older. I realized the actual Waylon Jennings guitar is actually been fitted with a full-on leather covering, and then the pickguard is just perfectly normal. I didn't want to do that because ew, I don't know, that would be just so awkward to all of it sounds awkward and uncomfortable unless you're playing it live. But sitting down with that guitar would be just like ripping the shit. Like a Telecaster, look at it, like look at this edge. Now put this kind of a binding on this edge of the guitar, that is going to destroy your arm. So I was like, no, I'm not going to put a leather fucking cover on a guitar, but I want to still do that homage to Waylon Jennings, and this guitar now is known as Waylon. So yeah, this is pretty badass. Oh, what we got here? Got a couple comments. Yeah, I didn't mean to scare anybody off, but I mean that is a hell of a fucking up. Thank you. I really do appreciate that because I'm now like I want to know what's up. I like to know those things. We do watch a shit ton of YouTube in this house. It's like probably we watch more YouTube than anything else. And mostly disc golf and body camera footage. Please, body camera footage and disc golf. And but yeah, this is something that's gonna, as soon as we crack on YouTube, it was probably just gonna be boom right in our face. So yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for that very simplistic explanation. But again, if you want to go and watch like a 5 or 10 or probably there could be an hour-long video somewhere, somebody telling you exactly and showing you, you know, all sorts of different like technical specs as to how tube screamers and overdrive pedals are different. Can you use them for sort of similar results? Yeah, sure. You can definitely run. I love running overdrives as a boost, and like with your traditional boost settings with like the drive way back, tone and level at roughly 7 or 8, and then the drive with it. If it's an overdrive, especially with the tube screamer, I'm okay either way. But with an overdrive pedal, I love introducing like 10% of that drive knob just to give you a little extra flavor. Something that might make you sound a little bit more unique, and it adds that little bit of saturation that I really like. Does the same thing with a tube screamer though. If you turn up the drive knob just like to 10 or 20%, it's going to add, especially if you're using not a crazy hot set of pickups. Like I would say that nobody should use a crazy hot set of pickups anyways. They're not versatile. Use something like hot, or medium hot, whatever, for if you're doing metal. And in that case, it's easier for you to up the input and be able to kind of work things in your favor during in other ways. And it sounds way better too. Way more note articulation, and everything just sounds better, in my opinion. That's just me. You don't have to take my word for it though. But if you're one of those people that just like swears by hot pickups for metal, I would argue just for next to, if you're still searching for the one, next time, just give something that's slightly less hot a try and see what happens. Nothing hot about these pickups though. A set of Nordstrands and made at home. And we are currently using amplification match lock. And we're on amp B. Let's go to amp C. So I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 2 strums, 2 strums, 2 strums. All right. Okay, now we're going to do the channels for you. Channel 2. Okay. And number 3. That sounds fucking awesome, doesn't it, right there? Woo, oh boy. That sounds so good. I'm going to turn this off and maybe turn on a... What are we going to put on here? Let's do that, just like an X... No, not where I parked my car. Not where I parked my car. That was fine, to be honest. Oh gosh, that sounds so good. And when you start to introduce a little bit of distortion to a twangy tone, things can get pretty interesting. And it can make the twang even nicer. You got my first real 6-string. That I'm gonna turn off that slapback. It's annoying me at this point. Where did that go all of a sudden? That's sounds good. Sounds a little bit smaller than it usually does. Let's just crank this up a tiny bit. Give it a room sound. That sounds pretty awesome, doesn't it? That was fun, right? Man, I'm having a go. Now, this is where I'm going to involve the middle pickup less. The more gain that I use, the less I'm going to want to use that middle pickup. It's just not a sound that I really like. The second I start to even go with that edge to that edge of breakup, I'm not even thinking about touching this switch anymore. and most of the time that's probably going to be the just how it is, because I just don't really like the sound of the middle pickup when you start to fire a gain in there. Even just that the edge of breakup is about as far as I would go with that. But when it comes to adding a little bit more, tiny bit of dirt or snot to a twangy tone, I would prefer to kind of keep it with either, like, usually, in all honesty, just like I'm not even going to go with the middle position here. I'm either going to go straight bridge or straight neck. I'm not even going to bother with the middle position when it starts to add distortion. Just not for me. Might be for you. Not necessary for this guy. Lovely. So yeah, we're gonna go past this now. You guys, it's very simplistic. It's all here. I've kind of shown you guys what this one has available. There is a decent set of presets that get you where you need to go. It showcases everything this has to offer, although, like I said, it's pretty easy to set up. There's not a lot going on. If you want to make it sound a bit hotter, you've got the bias here, you've got the sag that gives you that speaker woof. That's going to be, pardon me, that's going to be as good as you need it to be. And if you don't want to use their cab, simple. Boom. You can do two things, actually. You can turn the cab off and use your own loader. My loader of choice in this case is Nadir from Ignite, aka also STL Tones. Or in this case, you can also, if you're using this plugin and you want to use your own, you can crank the cab on and go right in here and use your own impulse response. And for whatever reason, it doesn't. Oh, it does want me to do that? It does. Yeah, it's fine with that. And you can do it either way you'd like. Okay, so this one's pretty cool. It's also got oversampling up to 8 if you'd like. All of their stuff sounds phenomenal, feels phenomenal. Yes, the control panels have been condensed, but it doesn't give you that profile or feel whatsoever where, you know, the controls are only good from roughly 4 to 6 on the dial, and apart from that, things start to sound a little robotic. If you ever have a plugin where as good as it sounds is with everything set to 5, you know what you've got under the hood. And if you start trying to adjust it and go between 4 and 6, and when you get any lower or higher, things start to sound more and more fake or phony, that's what you've got. You've probably got some sort of black box modeling going under there. It's probably some sort of a profile, because that's the way Kempers tend to be as well. When you start to getting too far right or left of that profile on any of those controls, things start the faker and more fake it's going to sound, because really it's a photo. Is what you've done is you've taken a picture of the signal chain for a picture, and then by working with those controls, it's like you're using Photoshop, and all that's going to happen is it's going to sound more and more fake or phony. That's just my opinion. With this, it's a different story. All these controls, everything they give you has full value, full 0 to 10 value on all of the controls, just so you're aware. Now, also getting out of here in a couple of minutes, but we're going to talk about the F59, and this is from Fuse Audio Labs. This got a bit of a remake slash an overhaul or a makeover. This is a sleeper. And as mentioned earlier, if you're into or interested in any technology that existed in the audio realm prior to 1970, we'll say prior to 1975, they've probably covered it. We're talking about some of the best software on the market today, flat out some of the best sounding stuff that you're ever going to find. This is it right here. Fuse Audio Labs. The man that makes this stuff is a genius. He does it meticulously, he does it very slowly, and he gets things done so that when you use them, it sounds like you're using the real thing. Now, this is your average bassman, and I'm not going to do too much to the settings just so that you guys are going to see, like, it doesn't take a whole lot here. So now this is essentially the volume is going to give you more or less of the dirt. And the more of that you use, the more or less you're going to have to kind of work the volume and the level together constantly. And And that is kind of where I'm going to park my car. I'm going to do a little bit less in the middle here. That sounds lovely. And that's just one built-in IR. And if I want, I can go and use just a whole bunch of different stuff that we've kind of... oh, man, listen. Nice. Johnny Highland popping up in the background here. And if you haven't heard Johnny Highland or watched him play, this is another guy. He's legally blind, big fella, and boy, he can play his ass off. He used to be on Shrapnel fucking Records back. If you don't know what that is, you're probably too young to remember it. There's a label of just shredders. I think it still exists. And Johnny was on there, and he was a little bit rock, a little bit country, but then he went all country. Doesn't do much of the rock stuff anymore, I don't think. But that's not to say he can't. Because there are plenty of clips of him absolutely shredding rock stuff too. All right, I need that compressor back. I'm gonna need that slap back also back, but I'm gonna turn it way back. You know, why listen to me? Listen to this. Hold on a second. Listen to this monster. Listen to this. Jesus. Jeez. Yeah, come on. I wish I could get that proficient at playing chicken picking, but it's just it's coming along. I also don't have the time to put into it either. So to all the excuses in the world, map them out for you. And this is by the way, this is quite an affordable plugin, the F59. They'll be coming out. I'm not sure if Ray wants me to tell, but they do have another guitar amp coming shortly-ish, from what I understand, shortly-ish. And it is another Fender. It is another vintage Fender that does not exist. And all I can say is that Fuse Audio Labs will have the best surf rig money can buy in plug-in form under one roof, between a Spring Reverb that they already have right now and a particular Fender amp. There will be you guys can go ahead and guess. Surf rock / surf music Fender amp. There's a lot of different comparisons, a lot of crossover there, but there's one particular amp that is very well known for being the voice of surf rock, and it is an absolute monster. And they're going to be putting that one on the market at some point in the future. That is one of the next guitar products coming from the company. But there's also a lot of different creative and production plugins that you can get from Fuse Audio Labs. Superb stuff too. All kinds of different things. Lots of different preamps that you can do. You can use to add nice warmth to things, warmth to record digital recordings. Even just having a preamp on a channel with nothing engaged and having your signal running through it can give it a more of a vintage vibe. So I always suggest that people give it a shot. Exactly that. I'll show you exactly what I mean. If I go to Fuse, I see all these different pre's that are available. And the 2C I'm going to bust out here. If I just want to leave everything as it is, everything is off. Everything is just as is. Things are going to sound different with my signal running through it. You can put it on your master if you'd like. There's all kinds of different pre's that they have available there. And I strongly advise you go and check out everything they have available. This is one of my other reverbs that I use, by the way. This is the Rotten Pool Verb by Aurora DSP. It's always parked in my chain. Check that out. But this is very simplistic. This thing also plays super well. And all good tech does, by the way, if it's an amp sim that's made properly and an IR that's made properly, they should work together pretty well. But this thing really works together really, really nicely with not only guitar IRs, but bass IRs. Don't forget, it's a bassman. And traditionally, the old school bassmans were used for guitar and bass. Okay, with different cabinets or different things added or subtracted from the equation. Okay, so this thing can be used for bass or guitar. And I think there's going to be a bit of an update with some Dr. Bonker stuff coming in the future for the F59 here. Maybe a bit of a different UI, getting ready for something else. Who knows? We'll never know. We may never know. Oh man, you coming at the worst time there, Heavy Metal Chainsaw. Man, a little out of tune. Can't end the stream out of tune. We're going to be getting out of here in just a few minutes as I am starting to get rather hungry and in need of both a shower, a change of clothing, perhaps, and some air conditioning. I have a gloss at this point. I keep showcasing how much of an absolute wimp I am with heat, and I'm firmly admit it. I can literally. She has seen me just for fun stand outside just to see if I could stand outside at minus 30 plus, minus 40 with no shirt on, just to see if I could stand out there for a minute. No problem. No problem. But if I go out and stand out in that, oh my gosh, I'm just melting inside 10 seconds. I've got a gloss on. It's terrible. We need a thunderstorm. I'm going to complain. Keep complaining. Keep complaining. This is the complain and rant universe. Man, this sounds so fun. This is seriously one of my favorites for clean. And it's actually, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. This is my other go-to for clean. Anything clean. Doesn't matter what it is. I like to build my own signal chain. So this will be my base canvas. And then I'll usually surround it with some different effects. And if you've got a good plugin collection, remember, onboard suite effects should never really be a make or break. It should always be the amps, the cabinets, maybe the pedals, but not the post effects. Never the post effects. You should never care about that stuff. Just buy yourself a couple of nice reverb plugins, couple of nice delay plugins, buy or find them free, and then that's all you'll ever need. Get to know them really, really well. I can promise you that nothing that's being offered in a suite is going to be quite to that. Maybe won't be quite to that level. A lot of really great reverbs, a lot of really great delays out there, and if you learn and know how to use those like the back of your hand, post effects sections will actually never matter after that. I promise you. If you get to know a good reverb, a few nice reverbs, a couple of nice delays, you will never need to care about a post effects section ever again. And you shouldn't if you're working in a DAW, by the way, because remember, EQ's got to go in there. Don't want to mess up your signal chain by trying to EQ a track after your delay and your reverb. Man, that's going to be a pain in the neck for you, especially if you're a beginner. Not good things. So anyways, what did we go over today? We went over a few different plugins, one from Nembrini Audio, the Divided 11. Oh gosh. Divided 11. And anyhow, and we went over Archetype, Corey Wong. We went over a few different plugins today and basically everything gave us exactly what we were hoping for. Great clean tones in the form of a plugin. And sure, it's still actually a thing where there are analog purists that are like so far behind the times that they don't believe that plugins have really conquered the clean tone yet. And I mean, that's like something that happened 6-7 years ago now. Like it's now honestly, the market is full of amazing clean tones, whether it be modern or vintage. You can get all kinds of fun things happening. I would argue that some of the ones that I've shown you guys today are some of the best available right now. So, and all of them carry a very high level of quality. All of them are worth every dime that you can pay for them. Although I suggest always looking for your sale prices, as most developers will have sales 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, 15 times a year. So always snipe your sales, get on those mailing lists. That's my challenge. Find the developers that mean the most to you, get on their mailing lists. You might get free things. You might get vouchers. You're going to find out when sales are. You might get mailing list only offers. Get on your favorite developers. Don't trust social media for that. Trust a mailing list that you're going to get. Even if you wire it to your junk mail, check your junk mail once in a while, see if it pops up. It's great. All right. Thanks so much for joining me for what was a fun stream today. I'm going to get out of here and go eat some pizza and watch a movie with the missus. I will be back tomorrow at some point in some shape or form for a little while, doing some thrashing around and searching for some great thrash tones with a couple different guitars. You guys will be the judge of what's a great thrash tone. We're going to go over what's a great thrash amp. How do I set it up? How do you guys set up your thrash tones? That's going to be tomorrow. Watch for it to pop up sometime in the afternoon. Thanks so much again for being here. You guys all mean a lot to me. The community means a lot to me, and it's why I do this. It's fun talking with y'all and going over some really fun plugins, and I hope to see you guys again here soon. Thanks again, guys. Cheers. Have a great evening.